All right, hello and welcome everyone to a wonderful, exciting match of X-Wing. We are the Sydney City Space Slugs. We're bringing you a game here of XTC, the X-Wing Team Championships. We have here with us today, we have Team Australia, represented by Ben Doyle, and Team Sweden, represented here by Erik Reimers, I think is probably how I'm going to go with pronouncing it anyway, but I'll just stick to calling him Erik, I think. I have with me today the ever wonderful Suresh.
Good evening, Cam. How are you tonight?
I am really, really good. I just finished eating my pumpkin soup that I made tonight, and it was very tasty. This is a very exciting game for me because this is the first time we've had Ben Doyle on stream, and Ben is a bit of an X-wing local hero, I would like to say, although he probably wouldn't say that himself. So I'm very excited to have him on here, and also have such an interesting squad. So I'll go through Ben's squad, and then you can take us through Erik's squad. So Ben's squad here is the Major Von Reg with Daredevil. Pretty standard build here for the First Order. Von Reg with Daredevil. Nothing else, no tricks, just Daredevil. Kylo Ren, extreme maneuvers, and then Rush. Rush is a card that I think we don't see too often, although he is definitely seeing some play. Rush is an I2, but once he gets some damage cards on him, he becomes Initiative 6. So just got that up on the screen there. Very straightforward squad. His bid is 6 points, so it's actually not too deep, but it is. He's definitely angling for the option of initiative, and I think I didn't actually pick up who took initiative, but I'll guess maybe Erik, even though I don't think there's any crossovers here. And do you want to take us through Erik's squad?
I will do just real quick. So I'm going to point out there, Ben chucked Rush down first. So he's got the I2s. He's the first player.
See, that's why we bring you along, because you know what you are doing.
Okay. Now, Eric's squad, I think I saw it being labelled as Galactic Republic Beef. So a 212th Battalion pilot, that's the LAT gunship with a synchronized console. We've got two 104th Battalion pilots. Those are the ARC 170s, so plenty of hull, plenty of red dice. And those three medium bases are backed up by two loyalist volunteers, the V-Wings. They've got the Alpha 3 Bravo Besh title, thermal detonators, and both of them have the synchronized console as well. So three synchronized consoles between five ships, looking to get some efficiency there with the locks. Those little V-Wings are actually pretty efficient little toolboxes with the Besh title for a bit of punch and also thermals. So interesting squad. A lot of hull and shields to chew through for these three aces here.
Yeah, and I know you, when you sort of first returned to the game of X-Wing this year, I think I saw you flying some Loyalist Volunteers, is that right?
I was actually flying the I3 ones, so you
Ah,
could give them dedicated, but that was my own personal choice. I thought spamming dedicated might be a good idea, and I had four of them and a lat in a list, but it's pretty different with the 104ths tonight. So I do like the synergies in the list, and of course, fire convergence is such a great chassis ability on that lat.
it's brilliant. I think that he's. I can definitely see Erik leaning on that ability just to really help him punch out some serious damage. If he catches one of these ships in arc, there's a very two re-rolls is probably going to do him pretty solid, I think, in a single engagement across the four ships, because chances are you're probably happy to just take two re-rolls and have a focus on everyone, and you're probably going to punch through a few damage here. So what do you think of placement here? So obviously Ben didn't really get much of a decision on whether or not to set up for a joust with his I2 rush. But what do you think here of um, Erik's placement?
Well, I think the key thing to look at here is actually the rocks. With them all really on Ben's half of the table, I suspect Ben's going to be a little bit cagey to open with, and they're just about ready to start, by the way, there, Cam.
Yep.
It'll be just a bit cagey to open, and if you can just try and force some of these medium bases through the rocks, you can try and look for the advantage there. is I think what Ben will try and do. Suspect Eric's probably going to hang back as long as he can. Does not want to get those three medium bases in the rocks. We'll see. We'll see who gets the better of that.
Yep. Sorry, just waiting to see if I think they're setting dials. I'm sorry, I'm just working on something in the background. We're just trialing out a new overlay, as you might be able to tell. So I'm just working on getting these to be a little bit more game friendly. So bear with me, or if I seem a little bit distracted, I'm a perfectionist.
Players are good to go there, Cam, so I'll let them know that they're good to start, and let's get this show on the road.
Let's do it. All right. So, do you know what the current standing is, Suresh? Actually, on the between these two teams. Sorry.
Off the top of my head, it's just 1-0 to Australia. So these are games. Well, this is game 3. You've actually got game 2 going on at the moment. Actor's actually flying his scum squad, all the filth at the moment.
Much filth. Much filth.
It's still early days in the round at the moment, but Australia is really looking to pick up their first win, unfortunately, or with going down there to Spain last week.
Yeah, it definitely hasn't been the best couple of weeks for Australia, but I think a few of these guys that have come to the table here and put their hand up to play, most of them, I'd say, are probably pretty fresh to this level of play, and I think that definitely takes a factor. You've got the entire community, your entire local community, plus watching, hoping that you win, and sometimes that can sort of get into your own head and can sort of throw you around a little bit. So I think the quality of the players is fantastic, and I'm really hoping that now that some of hopefully those early days jitters are gone, first few rounds, they can start to really show us exactly how good they are, because I think the guys are a lot better than what they've been able to show so far.
It's an interesting move there by Kylo, the straight 5.
Yeah. So I like what Erik's done here. Obviously, those rocks pose a problem for him. And if Ben continues to play on that side, he's going to eventually have to deal with them. But I like the way he's set up here. Just not fully... Obviously, Rush is not going to 5 straight at the entirety of Erik's squad. So a nice, easy banks, some keeping his options open, whether or not he wants to dive straight through those rocks or see if Kylo runs forward, which he has done. Do you think Erik maybe commits in on Kylo and tries to block him, or sorry, not block him, catch him as he hangs out in that open space there?
That's a very, very tempting option for Erik. It's very tempting. I reckon with that much firepower on the Republic side, you could potentially just nuke Kylo off the board in a round.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like you said, this is a very odd move from Kylo, just a little aggressive. I think even if Ben tries to bring Kylo back in through those rocks, he's going to be copying some shots. So I guess the question is Kylo going out there to bait to provide the broadside to Rush and to Vonreg? Does he think... and Erik has taken that, bait, quote unquote, if that is in fact what Ben is trying to do here. So he's sort of offering that broadside up to Rush or Vonreg if Vonreg wants to come in and start playing the game too. There's just a lot of space for Erik to play around in here.
Exactly.
I'm sure he's probably pretty happy with his rock placement.
I think he is at the moment, certainly, although I would suspect there's the turn there from Kylo, so pretty much expected. I don't know that I like the distraction Kylo play here. He's a bit too valuable to be used in that fashion, because he's probably the biggest piece. Oh, he's actually
extreme maneuvers.
Yes.
I definitely like that. I like that, but I still think, I don't know, positioning wise, it's going to be very, very good if Ben can force this entire Republic squad to point at that corner, while Ben sort of runs back around through the sort of center of those rocks to come in from behind. But I'm not sure if Erik will be falling for that, and it seems like Ben's sort of got to do something eventually.
Yes, he will. He's the person who's obliged to do something, really. If we flew around for 75 minutes, then we go to the final salvo where he's at a fairly distinct disadvantage with only 9 dice to 12. I don't think it'll come to that. Ben's far too good a player to actually bank on that. He'll have a plan in his head for something. I just don't know where it is yet. And actually, here we see Rush gonna shaped to come around the outside there. And just double check from your Cam that we've got the timer going on the overlay.
That is such a good point, and we don't. But
we've got a hour 10 left.
I can edit it, I believe.
Yeah. And while we just get that set to the correct time, you're actually seeing these two arcs barrel roll towards Erik's side of the board, so he's really, really keen to stay in this big open space on his own side. So we'll see how Ben counters this with regards to, actually getting in there, starting the engagements, and actually starting to deal damage. Just a lazy straight 2 there.
Sorry guys, I'm just fiddling with the overlay here. I've got to put in some colours as well.
Yep, no dramas. And Komodo Leaf, I'm excited to see those first order aces in action too. I don't know if you caught Ben's game last week. He played a pretty solid game. Unfortunately for him, it was a dead rubber. The round had already been decided. But if somebody knows what he's doing with these aces, it's Ben Doyle. I suspect we'll see this coming round here. Pretty cagey play by Erik. He does have the option to just do a lazy little bank or something like that, clear the stress, and maybe even just barrel roll towards the open space on the side of the board. See what he comes up with. And here we go with Rush first up, and see whether Rush actually, yes, he's definitely taken the obvious move around the rocks. He's barrel rolling towards the edge to give himself a big open space next round. I think we're starting to see the strategy here, Cam, with probably Rush probing first.
Interesting. I like the idea that he sort of tempted the joust and then basically just came back to where he was to continue a joust. But obviously the other ships aren't there anymore. So he's sort of just, hey, maybe I'm going through the rocks, and then, nope, I'm going back to exactly where I started, and I'm going to come back around that whole open side that you left behind. So, sorry guys, just going to put these, get us all back into position here on the screen there. Lovely.
And there's another barrel roll by these arcs. Interesting move here by the 212. He's pointed himself towards the side of the board. He's really, really, really wants to stay in the open space here, does Erik. Now, just the other thing that I've been watching there, Cam, is you see Von Reg's position. You just see that channel there between 5 of the rocks. He's been hanging around that channel for a long, long time, although he's just chosen to ignore it. He's been pointing himself at a clear channel through these rocks pretty much all game.
I should mention as well that, sorry, just was looking on the side here, that Rush does have automated target priority, but I just think there's an issue with the overlay not having it. I think I've seen that before. But he does have automated target priority as well.
Right. And good evening to you, Madam Duke. I don't know what a Ben pie is, but it sounds okay. I'm kidding.
Alright, almost just about done. Finally fixing up this overlay here for us, guys. and we can really start. I can really start focusing on the actual game. That'd just be so much fun.
Oh, it's been pretty cagey so far, though, Cam,
I know.
as we've been
I've really
pointing out.
appreciated the fact that they've just allowed me to fiddle about. Okay, so I do. I really do like both players' positioning here. I found every XTC. I think because so much is riding on these games, the guys play very cagey. I think every XTC game I've watched, the players, I think because you spend so much time in your own head looking your opponent's squad over the coming days, you know the matchup is coming, you anticipate what the opponent will do, and you sort of just wait to see if maybe you were right, that their strategy is what you'd been practicing or what you'd been prepping. And I think it's sort of telling just how long it takes to get to engagement in these XTC games. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just making an observation that I haven't really seen a rush to shoot in any of these XTC games just yet.
Here comes the extreme maneuvers.
And I think that's actually really interesting as well. And the reason why Vonreg and Kylo were both able to just hang out for so long in that corner is that they both have a hard turn barrel roll.
Hard turn boost. Yeah, it's...
Sorry, boost. Hard turn boost.
There it is again. And auto thrusting for that barrel roll to keep himself on the side. And he's actually just drawing Erik in just a little bit here. It's going to start to get compressed unless Erik wants to really force himself back into the open space in the middle. I tend to agree with what you said there, Cam, although if you want to see a violent match, just look up yesterday's New Zealand match on Nils Tilandra's stream. It was a violent X-Wing Proton versus double fire spray match. It was brutality.
I'll have to give it a look. I've been trying to keep up with as many XTC games as I can. I think it's probably some of the most exciting X-Wing that we've had in a while, and I love the fact, I don't love the fact that we have to play the game on TTS, but I've actually really appreciated the fact that due to the constraints of the current situation, that they've moved it to TTS, because I think it's just really allowed us, not just us, but all the streamers from around the world to really showcase a lot of these really good plays and these interesting matches that we otherwise wouldn't have seen if these guys had been playing it in person. So you sort of feel like, you already feel like you're part of the team, but it feels even more so when you can watch every match as it happens.
Yeah, definitely, and it's not just the players, of course. And you mentioned the interesting matches, and with the way that the team format works, all these matches have really been, to some extent, designed because the teams are looking through their own stable, if you like, looking at what their opponent's bringing in and trying to actually generate some of these matches that we're watching in terms of the matchups. So that's been a feature of these sort of team events, and it generates a lot of interesting matches for us to actually watch and follow along with. So it's always good. And there you see Erik turning in. I have to say I like it. It gives him the option here to actually turn left and really turn on rush, or if Kylo gets too far forward there, he can even try turning it in on Kylo. But Kylo's just barrel rolled again towards Ben's baseline, and with Vonreg yet to move, and he's going to come around as well. So I think he's going to try and force Erik into a decision here, whether he pick one left or right, and he's going to play defense with whichever one Erik picks.
Yeah, I wonder though, is Erik going to struggle? That big rock right in the center there, is that going to cause Erik any problems in getting these ships? I guess too hard from all the medium-based ships probably is okay.
Yeah, it's good.
But I think anything other than hard turns is bad news. So he's I think this is maybe a moment Ben's been waiting for, just in the sense that it's pretty obvious what Erik has to do this turn, and anything else is probably a mistake. Can Ben capitalise on that, though? You turn Kylo in, you've probably left him left him for dead. But then, can Erik then capitalise if Kylo turns in? Sort of just
Yeah.
seems like, yeah, Erik has one move he probably has to do here because he doesn't want to get stuck in this corner with all those rocks. Can Ben capitalise though? I don't necessarily think so.
I don't think you'll get stuck. You'll, I mean, you've got to back yourself to be able to navigate the rocks, and you've actually got three ships with front and rear arcs, or the bow tie as it's set right now. So you can actually do what you need to do, and then still actually get some shots off. They won't be great shots necessarily, but you're still rolling red dice, and there isn't that much hull and shields on Ben's side. So one bad roll can actually really put the pressure on Ben. There's another straight five there with Rush. Well,
He's really committing around that side, around that side there. He really doesn't. I mean, he's lost the coverage of the rocks. So if, but I think this is probably what Ben wants, right? Hey, turn in on Rush, take Rush, and leave. Oh, no hard turns. I was wrong. Maybe this is the right move. I thought maybe the arcs might hard turn, but too hard is still there for. Nope, just a one bump. He's still with a too hard next turn. And this is why I'm not in the Swedish XTC team, and why he is.
now I know you've got the camera set up for the stream, but just looking through there at the sort of the table level, those two arcs are, the yellow one's just a little bit off, but the red one's in a perfect lane. So I suspect we'll see Kylo play a little bit more. And still actually threaten around that rock there in the bottom corner.
But I really like what Eric's done here. To now he does have one banks and barrel rolls open if he needs to take them next turn to try and come around that big rock there, because the big rock is probably his biggest problem in getting his ships back around. It's pretty incredible, actually, just looking again. It's pretty incredible to see how much space there is. And obviously Ben doesn't want to play in that space. So it's sort of both players at this moment saying, hey, do you want to come play on the rocks? And then Erik answering, no, do you want to come play in the open? And Ben saying, no, I like the rocks. And it's interesting that Rush has gone so far out there. He pretty much has to too hard to get back on the board next turn.
Yep.
Can the loyalist volunteers volunteer themselves far enough to... I mean, probably get some shots, but are they going to be quality shots? Probably not. I mean, Ben's probably happy to take 3 damage in a round and take another I6 on the board. If he can exchange that for some points as well, I'm sure.
Yes, I think that the hard 2 is pretty much nailed in there. The loyalist probably won't get there fast enough for a big range one shot, but he can actually turn in, say, that red 104th Battalion pilot, and that does 2 things really, which is 1, keep it in the open, and 2, turns it in on Rush. And in the chat there, I've just been reminded by Madam Duke that we did rename Extreme Maneuvers to BS Maneuvers. So they shall evermore be known as BS Maneuvers. I have to say, I think Von Reg's just a little far back, but I like the position. He's threatening there that turn in on the 104th Battalions and even the Loyalist Volunteers.
Yeah,
It'll be interesting to...
It's probably better than just hanging out down there with Carlo, because this is very obvious ace play, right? give 3 different options of where you get to, and it's a pretty brilliant of Ben to be able to very slowly over the last few turns be able to draw this out. The onus is on Erik to try and keep his ships pointed in the right directions. And Ben has done a really great job of just sort of stalling and spinning his wheels in one corner and sending the other 2 ships out into... He's basically got them in 3 different sections of the map, which is quite well to have done. It's easy to lose patience and dial in something that might be a little bit more aggressive. He's really taken his time here to make sure that he gets this right engagement for himself.
Speaking of which, though, we've actually got the 2 Loyalist volunteers. They have turned in there on Rush. Now, they didn't take locks, they took the focuses, and there's the 2 hard from the Red 104th Battalion. So Erik's really committing here, and what he's committing to is keeping his force together, at least for the time being. Of course, I said all that, and now there's nowhere for that 212th to go. He's now pointing in the other direction.
Well, it had to happen at some time, right?
Yeah, and here come the BS maneuvers. There they are. And yeah, just a 2 bank from Vonreg, so not quite committing Vonreg yet. I like a little boost here because he actually gives himself a little escape in through the middle of these rocks if he decides he needs to next round. So we'll see what Ben likes. Oh, Ben. The traditional Ben Doyle check for a lock when you're way too far away.
Hey, you got to do it at some point.
I mean, it's so traditional. I think it's even on a t-shirt somewhere.
Hey, that one time that he does it and he gets it though.
Just the one I'll spend there. So here we go. Shots fired. Shots fired. And Rush going into that Loyalist volunteer there, that green one at range 2. Looking for something better. Gets 2 hits. That's better. He'll spend. Still no damage. And Rush will defend a little. First, though, he'll take the rear arc against Kylo.
So this is obviously pretty happy days for Kylo. He's right behind the entirety of the squad, regardless of those 2 dice return shot at the back arcs. I mean, Kylo is happy to sort of trade those, at least one of those every turn, if it means he can get some nice solid shots into the butts of these arcs. Oof. I think he's hoping maybe he'll roll better greens on the next few rounds, on the next 2 dice shots into him.
Yeah, not much going on here. Just a few pot shots, just the 1 hit.
Nothing too quality.
No.
So again, Ben has done a really good job here. Now I like Vonreg's positioning. That yellow one is going to struggle. Just even a 2 straight here from Vonreg. Maybe a 3 if he wants to barrel into the rocks and then hard turn to get out of it. The thing is, Ben can be sort of a medium speed, a 3 speed, and he can still get out of there if Erik happens to turn every single ship in on Vonreg. But Vonreg's in a really happy spot here, and so is Kylo. Rush is probably doing what Ben wanted Rush to do, and that was just be a focal point. Take shots. Yep. He's the cheapest. Him and Vonreg both are the same level of cheapness, I think, unless the overlay is not calculating in the
not extreme, not
ATP.
BS maneuvers. Yeah.
Let me just double check that.
So what do you do if you rush?
What do you do? I mean, you want to take shots. You've only got 3 ships, and there is a lot of health on the board. I know the Loyalist volunteers not so much, but the 104th Battalion arcs, as well as the 212th Battalion, they're chunky. They take a bit of work to get down, and you've only got 3 shots. So I mean, the question is, do you? Sorry, just want to make sure I call that out. We just got a follow from missed it. From Flums. Thank you for the follow, Flums. I really appreciate it, guys. It's been really great. We're still a fairly new channel, and we're still sort of finding our bearings and getting everything going, but we are really appreciating everyone tuning in and giving us some really nice feedback, and hoping we can get more and more games of X-Wing out there to the masses. So here we go. That's the answer to the question. We thank you, Flums, for the stall. That was a bank, 2 left bank, and a right boost.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
Nah.
Do you think that just leaves too much then? Because that sort of pulls the arcs towards the Baron, right? If he wants to turn in on them.
Because
I call Von Reg the Baron.
We can do that.
He's the Baron, anyway. So he did get a block in, and it looks like that's actually, I mean, you can't be too upset. That's pretty good. I guess maybe Erik was expecting Rush to just, go his namesake and rush in. Well, didn't block the barrel roll, so he's still getting shot anyway. But the broadside now is nice and open for Von Reg to come in and do something to at least one of those arcs.
A nasty, unspeakable things. Now, the reason I say I don't like it, I thought the bank right might have been an option. That said, I'm sure Ben knows what he's doing. And we'll see how this goes.
Rush is taking, I was going to say 2 unmodded shots, but here we go.
Here's the modifications.
Yeah, here's the modifications. Taking a lock with...
Yeah, remember he's got synchronized console.
I really probably should have actually read through the squad while you were looking at it.
And Kylo's going to come in here. No BS maneuvers, but he'll probably look to start inflicting some damage.
Yeah, I think probably you just want to chuck a target lock down, just start shooting something, because it's let's have a quick look at synced console, because I just need to remind myself. Synced console. After you perform an attack, you may choose a friendly ship at range 1 or a friendly ship with the upgrade. Yeah, so he has to shoot. He has to shoot at Rush to pass that target lock off. So Kylo takes a lock. You're pretty confident you're not taking a shot from the 212th Battalion there. And does a boost.
And there's the escape from Von Reg.
So, I don't like that as much as I liked the, say, 3 forward. Because the 3 forward was really nice. Because that gave you also a nice little escape route if you needed it. He's going to take a strain and a lock onto... Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Just burn down...
something.
Burn down the lat. Because that's the passive rerolls. And he's probably going to see the power of those rerolls probably from those arcs into Rush here. Although, it is to be noted that Von Reg is taking a shot from that Loyalist volunteer. So here's the Von Reg shot. Pretty nice. He spends the lock for the reroll and gets hit crit. That's definitely a damage going in. Ooh,
Nice.
Natty's out of it, but takes 1 shield on the lat there.
And gonna spend that lock there too. Looking for paint, no paint, so just two more hits coming into the lat.
Oh, and another evade. Shields down on 212th. The 212th is still going to take a shot from Rush. So
No, he's not. Rush's got automated target priority, doesn't he?
he sure does. We can't butt in there. But that you are actually correct. So he's actually not allowed to shoot into the 212 there. He actually had to fire into which is why I really don't like automated target priority. It just not fun. We're not allowed to jump in and say anything to the guys. So we've sort of just got to let that one go through to the keeper. Just to be fair, I mean, if we could, we would. We want the game state to be as accurate as possible, but that's just unfortunate.
I feel dirty, Cam.
I do feel dirty. I almost don't want to update the overlay for it. What was that crit? It was a fuel leak.
Yes, it was. And there's one there for Vonreg. So Vonreg gets away with it. And we'll the other loyalist volunteer.
Actor's in a game. I was going to message Actor, but Actor is in a game. He's probably a bit too busy.
Actor's down 43-41 at the moment. He's still got a bunch of time to play, about 25 minutes.
And fair enough, a blank out on Rush. Rush takes a shield.
And here comes the moving of that.
There's
lock
the sync console. So interesting. I like it. Lots of reroll mods where needed. So if one of these arcs totally blanks out, spend it, and let them get a nice heavy shot in here. Yeah.
Or just use your fire conversion.
Exactly. This is the situation where you would reroll 1. This is probably no. So 3 in here. Another blank out. That hurts. Oof. So that's shield down on Rush. Hit
and another fuel leak.
Another fuel leak. So Rush is in shift 6 now, but is on 2 health. So I don't think he's too happy about this one. Taking another range 1 shot.
Yep.
Oh, the sync console. Oh, the sync console went to yellow.
Yeah, only one of those has the console. Needs a good roll. Oh, he's going to die. He's got the fuel leak. He's going to die.
The fuel leak kills him. No. Very bad. Good night, Rush. Good night, Sweet Prince. Very solid engagement there for Erik. That was very good. He took, a few illegal damage into his little 212. But in all fairness, Rush exploded. I think he rolled 0 pain off 6 dice. So I think Ben's probably a bit sore on that. So I see some people in the chat. So I'm just going to catch up on chat quickly while Ben licks his wounds. We are on a 90-second delay, which makes it a little bit hard to interact, and I've been also fiddling with the new overlay. Totally on me. I didn't give myself enough time before the stream. The overlay doesn't show automated. I've tried to update it. It doesn't want to add. I'll fiddle with it again in a second, but Rush is dead, so guess it doesn't matter too much now. Madam Duke said, "Is that me?" Yes, that is me. I am Cameron Dunn. You tabled me in about 25 minutes, and you gave me your templates. Oh, I am a very nice. I'm a very nice person, aren't I? I do actually remember that. I travelled to Brisbane to try and win myself a Worlds ticket. I think it was like one of the last hyperspace trials in all of Australia. So I got Deering, just cutting in here. Deering, no, don't. We're not in the Discord. I don't have anyone who is in that Discord.
I am actually. I did forget about the @judge.
Yeah, probably should do that one. But yeah, long story short, I do remember Madam Duke. I remember you were flying. I just remember a Y-wing. That's all I remember. And I remember going, a Y-wing. And long story short, I did end up winning my Worlds ticket at the System Open a few months later. So, felt good. Or was that the following year? I can't remember. Time is just a construct. Thank you, Target Lock TV. He's called a judge for us. I don't think... I'm not sure what the judge call would be there. But, we will see what they say. Thanks for doing that as well, guys. I really need to get access into that Discord.
Well, that happens. Honestly, I suspect you might just have to say fair bump play on from here, but I'm not a judge, so I will leave that to the experts. Here we have Kylo facing three lots of rear arcs, and maybe no, I think he's gotten away from the loyalist volunteers there. Vonreg's rolling behind a rock, and Ben's got to work out how he can do some damage. And there we go. There's Daredevil, aka the semi-BS maneuver.
Ben has a lot of work to do. He's currently down, points-wise, he's down 57 to nothing. So, that's not what you want to see. Do you reroll? Rerolls it all. Yep, fair call. Ooh,
why not?
And pays off. Yeah, 2 hits and a crit. That'll proc that fuel leak if should the fuel leak stick around. That's hit.
It does.
Crit. Weapons failure. Structural. Oh, even worse. So that was 1, 2, 3, and a 4. And procs the fuel leak, and we get a structural.
And here come the shots back.
So that does put Ben some points on the board, which is, I'm sure he's very happy about.
Just the 1 hit there, and 1 evade, plenty of paint. And here we go. Here's the arcs at range 3. Only the 2 dice, but that's 2 hits with a focus token. Kylo says, thanks for coming. And the other shot, again, range 3. Again, 2 hits with the focus spend.
So I think the guys have also possibly missed. I don't know. Maybe I missed it, but I think. Oh no, sorry. The extra damage from the fuel leak, I think. But he did have a reinforce on that arc. Oh, sorry, on the
yes, he did.
Yeah, on the. Keep forgetting the name of the ship.
Yeah.
The lat got there.
Chuck some dice. There's 2 more evades. So Kylo's in a great position. He might just need to watch out for attack of the V-Wings next round. They're in a position to just come around that rock and start doing some work. Although they have kind of singled out Vonreg as their target there with those locks. So interesting to see which way he goes. It'll be range 3 obstructed either way.
You probably...
Yeah, Vonreg is pinged.
So what does the Besh title do again?
You can actually spend that lock to essentially get yourself a hit.
Right, that's right. You can change a blank to a hit.
It's going to take a shield there, unless I'm mistaken.
Yes. Yeah, no, it seems like another shield. So that's shields down on Vonreg. That's half points on Vonreg. And it's a total blank out from the green. Ooh, rerolls into a hit crit. He's going to want to see 0 evades, and that is a dead Vonreg. This has been a rough game for Ben. Yeah, that just... I probably would have preferred, instead of that hard turn boost at the end there, I probably would have just gone with an evade or a focus, especially when you were 1 shield down already. Looks like the guys... the judge is in the voice chat and is talking the guys through what's going on.
It looks like they're sorting that out now.
Yeah.
might have just paused there because we expect to see Von Rig off the board in just a moment.
Just checking the timer. The timer's still going. Just make sure the guys hadn't removed the timer.
Plenty of time here, and I think they're just probably sorting that out. I don't think, I quite frankly, you're probably just too far gone in terms of the game state to actually be able to rewind anything.
Yeah, I agree, but at the same time, you'd probably be happier to. At this point, I don't blame either player, whichever way they want this to go, because from Erik's perspective, you're probably just like, doesn't really matter at this point. You've blown up half of his squad. To be fair, Kylo's job now is what he's designed to do, which is just arc dodge, fly away, and maintain points. But he's now flying solo against 5 ships, and there's double arcs on 2 of those ships.
And well, 3 really, because you've got the bow tie there at the 212. Now, that said, if you had to pick one pilot in the game to solo an opponent's list,
Boba.
I was going to say though that Kylo is probably in your top 3.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think Kylo is, as long as they're not initiative 5 or 6, and he's moving after them. Kylo is the ship to do it. And Ben is no slouch when it comes to Kylo. So I'm sure he's probably hanging his head pretty low, but that doesn't mean that he's giving up. No way.
He's called it.
Called it. Yep. I think probably the mistake on the automated target priority plus some poor dice, but I think just some really unfortunate positioning from Ben. I think the dice on Rush probably would maybe trigger you a little bit, just rolling, But Rush was there to take 3 shots, I think he ended up taking. And they were modded shots too, and 2 of them were range 1. So, yeah, rough play there for Ben. Yeah, that's a bit of a sad ending, I think.
Yeah, just really unfortunate.
All right.
Really.
Yeah. So I guess we'll do a quick little recap there, Suresh. What do you think could Ben have done differently to change the outcome of this game?
I really hated the 2 bank left with Rush.
Yeah, that engagement there.
Sorry, Ben.
I died.
And look, Ben is a fantastic player, but it was pretty clear from the 2 bank left that he was looking for some sort of escape. It was just the wrong one, and it had a high percentage, I thought, of being the wrong one, which is why I immediately said I didn't like it. I actually liked, say, a bank the other way, and you get in on the other flank of the Galactic Republic formation. That's what I personally would have preferred. Not to say that would have magically won the game or anything. I just thought that Rush got coughed up a little bit too easily.
Yeah. So even, I think, from that position he was in, a 3 bank right and then a boost would have blocked one of those arcs, and then would have stopped both of them from getting any mods other than the synchronized console, and would have stopped one of those shots. And it was those 2 4-dice shots that really blew Rush out of the water.
Exactly.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think, as always, it's easier to sit here in my nice comfy chair with no stakes, no skin in the game, and say what I think would be better. Ben obviously had a plan in his head. And I actually don't think it was the end of the world. I actually didn't think the barrel rolls were going to fit from the arc, so I thought he'd done a fantastic job. It just, those barrel rolls fitting in, and obviously Erik has built a squad to accommodate for the requirement of the barrel roll, because that synchronized console just basically blew Rush up. That one upgrade.
Yeah, newfound respect for synchronized console. Actually, I used to hate it. Now I've got to say, Eric's actually used it to really, really good effect, and it's a pretty cheap upgrade as well.
Yeah, and I mean, it's got to work in. Will really only work in this sort of scenario where um, you have all your ships moving at the same initiative. So, but I like that on a lat. I think that's pretty good because the lat in this squad is clearly doing one thing and one thing only, and that is just helping the other guys re-roll their dice.
Yep.
That's it. And I really like it. I think that's a solid squad. And I think the multiple arcs is probably a bit of a rough matchup for Ben. Um, but yeah, I think rock placement probably didn't help him too much. If he'd been able to spread those rocks across the entire board a little bit more, you wouldn't have had that sort of situation where basically all three of the medium-based ships were lined up right in front of Rush, and didn't have to work too hard to barrel roll and get arc. And I think rock placement probably didn't favour Ben there from the get-go. But I liked the way he used the rocks to delay engagement and reposition and sort of come at those three different angles. I agree that turn right before Rush exploded, or that turn that Rush did explode, sorry, was probably the mistake that just cascaded for Ben there, because that allowed the V-Wings to turn in on Von Reg and for the Arcs to turn it to basically just shoot,
Yep.
walk forward and not have to care anymore.
Yeah, exactly. If Rush survives, then actually the game would have been completely different. Maybe Rush plays the escape Von Reg there to deal some damage instead. So he plays sort of bait and switch with two of the three ships, or two of the ships, I should say, because Kylo was set. Kylo was in the perfect position for where, for what Ben wanted to do. Just get in there, three dice, three dice, three dice, three dice. Thanks for coming, medium bases. You've got one agility. Might take some time, but they're going to go away. And he actually didn't have a good option to deal with Kylo at all until, of course, you get to this situation. If they're the hypothetical next round, you've got the two loyalist volunteers turning in. You've got options for 4Ks plus the passive mods with a 212. I can see why Ben said that it wasn't really survivable for him.
Yeah, and honestly, a pretty good sport of Ben to just say, look, let's not draw this out. We've made a mistake, a very key point in the game. Let's just move on, because I mean, let's not. Another sort of craziness that could have happened is Ben could have rolled, hit, crit, and got a crit under the shield on one of those arcs, and it could have been a weapons failure, and that might have kept him alive. I think he died with 4 damage into him, so that mistake there is a bit of a big variable that created a sort of alternate timeline that definitely ended up in Ben just exploding. And I think it's fair play from Ben to just say, look, fine, it's not really worth dialing anything back or moving damage around. It's probably going to be a bit of a rough game for him anyway. So I think honourable on Ben's part to pull that out and just say congratulations.
Yes, so we'll see what happens now. For those people following along with the XTC as a whole, do have to say we still got Actor playing at the moment. He's over in Nils Tilander's channel. Looks like a pretty good game there as well.
Yep. I definitely recommend everyone. I had Nils on here. Is it 1L? Yes,
NILS, yeah. Aren't there raids or something we can do? I don't know. I just talk.
There is, but like I said, it's still new. Still have no idea what I'm doing. But I'm pretty sure we can. Let's see. So, all in all, thank you everyone for joining us for this game. Unfortunate the way that it did end in a bit of a fizzle, but big congratulations to both players for I mean, making their teams in the first place is already a really brilliant achievement that they should be very proud of. But yeah, so thank you everyone for coming out. And we hope to see you again for more games. We will still be streaming as many XTC games as we can get our grubby little hands on. And we're hoping to hopefully stream one again on Saturday, but not confirmed just yet. So thank you everyone for coming out. I'm just going to cut the stream here. And Suresh has kindly put Nil's channel in the chat. So please jump on over and watch. Let's watch Actor. Hopefully, just to even the score a bit, hopefully win his game. But anyway, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Suresh, for joining me as well.
Always, anytime, Cam.
Amazing as always. And see you all next time.
Thank you and good night.